it's Dane from Garbage Strength. I really like saying that. I want to go over transfer of training, okay? So, Dr. B, his first book was on transfer of training. And this is a principle I really think that everybody should base their training off of. If you have a training system, you've got to figure out what exercises transfer best to the sport and activity that you're training people for. So, in a sport like weightlifting, it's well known that, okay, snatch transfers pretty well to the clean. The clean doesn't necessarily transfer well to the snatch. The front squat transfers well to back squat. And some people, the back squat will transfer to the front squat. And most of my athletes that I've experienced, the back squat will not transfer as well to a better front squat. Snatch pulls transfer well to clean pulls and cleans. The best example I could give you is for someone like myself. When I qualified for USA Nationals this year in weightlifting, I couldn't clean for 4 weeks. And prior to that, 9 weeks out from my qualifying meet, 9 weeks in, I only cleaned twice in 9 weeks. And I cleaned a personal best at the meet. I had never cleaned more than 160 kilos, and I cleaned 162, and I jerked it easily because my jerk's good, but I had never cleaned more than 160 kilos, and in 9 weeks I cleaned twice. Why? Because I snatched all the time. So the transfer training was there. So what does this have to do, so what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is in the world of Olympic weightlifting, the world of strength training, but specifically in the world of shot putting, discus throwing, mainly in the United States, we've completely lost track of transfer of training and what transfers really well to good throws. So we'll have coaches who are like well-respected coaches, the best guys, supposedly the best guys in the world. They'll say, oh, well, when I get my guy's back squat up to 800 pounds, he's gonna throw farther. That's when he's really gonna hit his peak and he's gonna throw farther. There is no science that an 800-pound back squat is going to improve your rate of force production. It is well known that there are points of diminishing returns with general strength. So, if you have, Dr. B lays this out in his book, Transfer Training, for a shot putter, general strength levels should be, a 440 bench press, a 500-pound squat, a 340-pound clean, a 350-pound clean, body weight snatch, maybe a little more than body weight snatch. These are levels that he believes are the point. After that, you get to the point of diminishing returns. I would say they should be a little bit higher, but not much higher than that. Not much at all. So, in the world of American throwing, we're struggling in the discus, we're struggling in the javelin, we're struggling in the hammer because we're not connecting the fact that we're not training properly. We're not actually using training tools that will transfer to our sport. And what's even more frustrating is that we've got these elite coaches that'll go on and they'll get these interviews and say, oh, when he squats 800, that's when it's really going to go. Well, no, there's absolutely no science to back that up. Zero science. And if somebody, the guy who said that, if he could tell me and show me where a squat of 800 pounds can generate more rate of force production than a dude who's going to squat 550, prove it to me. Show me the science, because it's not there. So, and what's frustrating even further is that as you get past those levels of general strength, of diminishing returns, it is well known in the science world that as you become a more elite athlete, the strength gains have to become much more specific. And this is why you have, Dr. B, Justin Rohde, myself, Greg Watson, these coaches, There's tons of other guys that are doing this. It's not just me. Bingus, or the guy out in California, I can't remember his name right now. But these guys, it's not just like, there's tons of coaches doing this. And what are they doing is when their athletes get to the elite level, or they get to those base levels of general strength, well, they start focusing more and more on the specific side. And that's why you see, somebody like Christian Cantwell has learned this recently, and he's throwing dumbbells. He's taking heavy half turns for his general strength, or to improve his strength in the circle. So what I'm getting at is when you're picking your training tools, as you become more elite, you have to focus more on the activity and improving the strength in the circle for a shot putter, on the platform for a weightlifter, And another good example, I'll just use this quick for guys in the weightlifting world, is, I could snatch all the time. I could do heavy snatch pulls, heavy snatch deadlifts, and never deadlift at all, other than snatch deadlift. Never do a conventional deadlift. And I could go pull 600 pounds. But I could get a 600-pound deadlifter who can't sniff what I can snatch, because there's technical issues there. And that is the huge thing that we're missing out on in the world of throws in the United States, is that these are technical events. A squat of 800 pounds, or a bench of 600 pounds, or a clean of 450 is not going to have an impact on these technical events. Now, taking heavy half turns, or taking heavy South Africans, or taking light South Africans, or light half turns, or heavy stands, or side med ball throws lighter and heavier, all of these are much more specific and much more geared towards the actual technical activity, and that's where gains can be made on the elite level. So what am I saying? I'm saying, as you set up your training system, you've got to focus more on where are the general strength levels for the individual athlete in that individual sport, and then when they achieve those levels, what are you going to do? How are you going to start focusing more on technical side, on the technical side, because that's where the gains are going to be made in the technical aspect. And that's why you can see a guy like Joe Kovacs. Joe Kovacs' technique this year is drastically better than it was in 2013. When he was throwing 18, 50, 19 meters, struggling to throw that. Now his technique is incredibly better. He's tighter out of the back. He's not jumping off the left leg. Somebody must have told him at the Olympic Training Center that he's got to fix his technique. Maybe it was Dr. B. Maybe Dr. B sat down with him and Eric Worski. I don't know. But that's the thing, is Kovacs is a great example of how improving your technique will blow up your throws. He is the perfect example right now. So again, focus on the technical side. The strength levels are important, but only to a certain level, and recognize where the diminishing returns are in each particular sport.